Hey guys, and welcome to Let's Play Dark Souls Part 3. This is the Hamster of Muppets. Alright, so last time we made it through the Undead Church, we made it to the blacksmith, and we explored the forest a little bit. This time we're going to go back up the stairs and head back to the Undead Church, and we're going to make our way to the next boss, which I talked about was inside the Undead Church before. So, just gonna make your way up here and kill these guys, and when you walk into the Undead Church, there's gonna be a Tower Knight to the right. He has a big shield, big armor and stuff, but he's pretty slow, so he's fairly easy to dodge. You can see, just sort of, I usually like to strafe to the left, and then as he goes to attack, sometimes he'll also heal. So whenever he does that, he'll usually back off, and then you want to try to just get in an attack. This is a shortcut to Firelink Shrine right here. You can step on it and then step out. You don't actually need to activate it yet. We will be using it later. I just like to activate it the first time I see it. Behind the Tower Knight, we picked up a Firekeeper Soul. And what those are used for is they're used to upgrade the power of our Estus Flask. So right now we have the regular Estus Flask, and shortly we'll be able to make it the Estus Flask +1. And so basically the Estus Flask restores 300 health, and every time you upgrade it, it gets an additional 100. So whatever plus it is, just multiply that by 100. So +1, it would be +100, so it would be 400 +2, it would end up being 500, yada yada yada, up to a maximum of +7, which is 1,000. The most you can actually get in one playthrough is +6. You can't actually get it to +7 until you go on to New Game Plus. So in here, there's a bunch of Dreglings and a Channeler, and the Channeler will actually buff them, and they'll all come through that corridor. So I like to try to just back off and use this stab attack to kill them. The Channeler actually got in the way, so usually that doesn't happen. Usually you kill all the Dreglings and then you kill him, but I was actually able to just kill him really early there. So going up here, this part is actually optional over here. There's another Balder Knight. There's a little trick that not a lot of people know about. This is actually something I found out, I think, my first playthrough, and I've never heard anyone actually say they know about it or do this trick. But basically, these guys can parry you. They'll hold their swords out, and most people think that when they're doing that, you need to just not attack. However, that's actually not true. You can actually do a jumping attack, and they will never be able to parry that attack. They'll always fail. And so, I was trying to get him to do the parry. He doesn't really want to cooperate, though, so I just kill him, just to stop wasting time. But yeah, so the jump attack is forward plus R2 at the same time, and they'll never be able to parry it, so that applies for any enemy that can parry you. Back here, there is a humanity in this barrel. There I do the jumping attack, just to sort of show off what I was talking about. This door is broken, and you can see it's broke, and there's light shining through, and so you can break it. And in here, there's a gold armored fellow, and this is actually Knight Lautrec of Karim, which we can use the mystery key to open, which we got in the last episode. And so you can use this to free him, and he'll tell you he'll give you a reward only later. And so we'll actually be getting that reward at the end of this episode. So for now, you can just leave. And now we're actually just going to make our way to the boss. There's no more enemies on the way to the boss. This is the last room. You just need to go through this door up here, and then there's a couple ladders. If you are human, you can use Solaire to help you. And right where I'm at now, if you turn left before climbing up this second ladder and go back, there's also a summon sign for Knight Lautrec. And so you can get Lautrec and Solaire to help you. Solaire's would be right in front of this fog door. And if you're human, you can use them, and they'll help you, and it makes this boss fight really easy. With the Uchigatana +4 and Golden Pine Resin, it's pretty easy, at least for me. on its own. So this is the Gargoyles. I say Goyles because there's actually two, but the second one doesn't appear until you kill the first one. You can also chop off their tail and they'll drop a weapon. As you can see, the lightning pine resin kills this boss very quickly. So if you're a newer player, what you might want to try to do is fight the boss regularly, since there's a good chance you'll die, you know, your first couple times. And then once you figure it out, you can just use gold pine resin and they'll die very, very fast. The boss fight's already over. I wasn't even able to really talk about it. But the second one appears once the first one is down to half health. He also doesn't have a tail and he likes to shoot fire a lot. So if you're trying to fight both of them at the same time, usually I try to kill the second one because he'll stand there and shoot fire and it's easy to strafe around him and just get some free hits on him. Anyway, now we have rung the first bell. There are 2 bells of awakening before, you know, we find out what we have to do next in the game. So we will be venturing onward to find out where the second bell is, which if you talked to the Crestfallen Warrior, like I told you in the first episode, he'd actually tell you the first one was right there in the Undead Church, and the second one is in the base of Blight Town, which is where we'll be going. This is Oswald of Kareem. Is it Kareem? Yeah, the Pardoner. He has a gesture and some items. One of the items is a... Oh crap, what was it called? It's a thing that lets you cure curses, and there's actually a chance that we'll get cursed in this upcoming area, so it's not a bad item to get. I can't remember what the name is right now, I'm sorry. But anyway, we're gonna go back down to Andre the blacksmith, and we're gonna buy a couple more Titanite shards so that we can get our Uchigatana up to +5. +5 is actually the highest we can upgrade it right now until we get an Ember. Embers let you upgrade your weapons even farther, so usually it goes in sets of 5. Basically, you can go up to +5, then there's an Ember, you can go up to +10, then there's an Ember, you can go up to +15. And 15 is the max. There's also different paths you can take. You can make them lightning, you can make them fire, you can make them divine. We can't do any of those things yet, but we will be able to do later in the game. And I'll show every Ember in the game. Anyway, now that we're a little bit stronger, we're actually going to kill this prowling demon right here. The main reason I didn't want to kill him before is because he has a lot of HP. I think he has like close to 2,000 HP. And we do 84 damage per hit. Or 81, I think. So he would take quite a while. Usually, what you want to try to do is strafe to the right with his arm that can't attack right here. And just get behind him. And then what he'll do is he'll jump up in the air. And when he jumps up in the air, you just want to back off. If you're too close, even if you roll, that attack will basically always hit. Because it has multiple hitboxes, basically. So you just want to back off a little bit. The hardest part about this fight isn't the boss itself, or the mini-boss itself. It's all the rubble that's on the ground. It can really get in your way, and that's a common theme with all of these prowling demons, is they're not too hard alone, but the environments you have to fight them in are always really annoying, basically. This one has all the rubble on the ground. Some of them have really tight corridors, and you know it's a big enemy, so fighting them in a small place can be a real pain. And so that's basically what they're all about. He drops a Demon Titanite. Demon Titanite is used to upgrade demon weapons. more commonly known as boss weapons by most people, but the game calls them demon weapons because the bosses in the game are referred to as demons, basically, which is why the first game in the series is called Demon Souls, by the way, just in case any of you are wondering. And that'll be used to upgrade them. We can't actually get any demon weapons yet, but we will be able to later in the game. Anyway, going down this path, there's a large gate blocking your progress, and there's also an onion-shaped man named Sigmire of Katarina. A lot of fans like to call him Onion Bro. He's one of my favorite NPCs, actually. He tells you about how he's just been wanting to get through this gate, and it's closed, and he can't get through it, and he's just been waiting for a really long time. For now, there's not much we can do there. We will eventually be able to get through that gate, but not for now. So anyway, to go to the next area, we basically need to do some backtracking. We need to go... Right now, what we want to do is go back to Firelink Shrine. So the first thing I'm going to do is kill these 3 undead. I sort of have a thing for killing these 3 enemies. You have to run through this area a lot. And so, I don't know, ever since I first started playing this game, I've just always killed them. And it's always fun to kill them with a parry and riposte. They're kind of easy to parry, so if you ever want to practice your parry skills, they're a decent enemy to practice on if you want. So anyway, we're going to take this elevator. We actually unlocked this shortcut already. Like I said, you didn't need to unlock it until now, really, since you wouldn't be coming down here until now. So it's not a big deal if you didn't unlock it until now. I just always like to unlock it early. I talked about Petrus of Thurland in the first episode, but I never actually talked to him in the video. So here I decided to actually talk to him. I wanted to get the gesture shrug, but I think either we need to talk to him a little bit later in the game, or you have to have already talked to him and then, you know, do something before he will actually let you get more advanced options without joining the Covenant. I could just join the Covenant. There's no real punishment for leaving it later, but I just didn't really want to. He also sells miracles. So if you are a faith user, you might want to join the Covenant. And then he can sell you some miracles. None of them are too good. He does sell heal, but I think if you start as the cleric, which if you're going to be a faith user, you usually start with heal. You usually start with the cleric, which starts with heal anyway, so he's not too useful. Anyway, here's where Nightlaw Trek goes, and he gives you a sunlight medal. That's actually used in the Warrior of the Sun Covenant, which, like I said, we can't actually join yet, even though we found where it's at. But as you might have guessed, Nightlaw Trek is a bad guy, and so you can actually kill him pretty easily just by kicking him off this ledge. Over here is Anastasia, and we can use the Firekeeper Soul that we got earlier to upgrade our Estus Flask, so it's Estus Flask +1. The reason you want to kill him is because, 1, you can get his ring, which is a really good ring, and 2, he'll actually kill Anastasia a little bit later in the game if you don't kill him now, so I just wanted to kill him now. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Bye!